I'm gonna bet that this self-working card trick is going to be one of your go-to self-working card tricks. It is so incredible. There's no setup, there's no sleight of hand, and it's so good, you're even going to fool yourself with it. So you get the spectator to shuffle up the cards. They can mix these cards however they want. And then you get them to deal the cards out into 3 piles. Now, the thing about this trick is that the spectator shuffles, they cut, they deal, they do absolutely everything. There are so many random variables in this trick that it seems absolutely impossible. And yet, I'm going to bet $100 on the outcome. All right, so we'll see how it goes. I might regret it, but we'll see what happens. So the spectator deals out the 3 piles like so. And you say, right, we want to make these piles completely random, yeah? So what I'd like you to do is, with this pile, just cut wherever you want, all right? And then nobody counts these. This is an unknown number of cards, and they're taken out of play, right? So they're just taken out of the game. So now we don't know how many cards are here. Nobody does. You ask them to take the center pile. They can freely shuffle this however they want, and then they can cut wherever they want, and they just memorize a card. So they cut here, only they see the card, and they're remembering this card. Now that's their selection, 8 of diamonds, first card. And then we don't know how many cards are here or here, but the spectator dropped these on top. So now that card is completely lost. Nobody knows where it is. But to make it even more impressive, you ask the spectator to pick a second card. So they can they can shuffle this pile as well. Again, they can mix these however they want, give these cards a really good shuffle, like so, and then they can cut this pile wherever they want, right? They look at this card, in this case, 9 of clubs, right? This is their second selection. Remember, they don't know how many cards are here or here, and this is dropped on top. So now we've got 2 selections lost in the fairest possible way. Nobody knows where they are. Cards are gathered up. And remember, guys, and this is what makes this unbelievable, we have an unknown number of cards here. Nobody knows how many cards are here because we've got an unknown number that we put in the card box at the start, right? So that's what makes this absolutely impossible to follow. So the chances of me finding the cards now are pretty slim. However, I feel so confident, I'm going to bet $100 on the outcome. So now we're going to play a little card game. You're going to deal the cards to you and the spectator. Actually, to save time, I'm going to do this, right? It's the same as dealing. So every second card I'm going to give to the spectator, effectively, like this. And we'll divide the deck into 2 groups. Now, there are 3 possible outcomes here. Either the spectator has both cards, or I have both cards, or we have a card each, all right? But I'm going to bet all of my money that I have both cards. But actually, in any sort of betting game, in a casino, the house always has the odds. So I'm just going to give myself house odds here. We're going to just deal the cards again. All right, again, dividing into 2 equal groups. And now, now I'm pretty confident that I have both cards. But actually, seeing as I'm betting $100 and the spectator's betting nothing, I'll just I'll give myself a little more of an advantage, just because I'm taking all the risk here. And then actually, maybe we might as well, there's only a few cards left. Now I feel pretty confident. So you say to the spectator, would you be impressed if both of your cards were here in my pile? And they'll probably say, I'd be more impressed if they were here. And you say, well, I will always bet my money on the most impressive outcome. For the first time, what were your cards? They name the cards and you say, well, the odds were stacked against me, but they weren't. Impossible. And you get both selections. It seems so random, it's so fair. The spectator pretty much did everything. It's such a commercial trick, and I hope you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this one. Let's get into it. Guys, don't forget to like the video. I'll pay you money, lots of money. No, I'm joking. But if you did like the trick, please like the video. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, because we do awesome tricks like this every single week and you don't want to miss it. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I think this is one of the most commercial tricks I've ever seen. The fact that you're placing a big wad of cash down at the start of the trick, it usually grabs people's attention, so it's a nice little hook. But the great thing about this is it's completely self-working, and I genuinely fooled myself the first time I tried this, so you're gonna have a lot of fun with this. So it starts with a deck of cards. You need a full deck of 52 cards, remove the jokers, so you've only got 52 cards, and some money. This is optional, but I think it adds to the effect. So if you can get a big wad of cash, makes it better. Now, you're going to get the spectator to mix the cards, right? So they're going to mix the cards like this, give the cards a really good mix, and then you ask them to deal the cards out. So if they start dealing from left to right, so your left to your right, then you can keep track. So what's happening here is, obviously, when they deal the cards out, there's going to be a set number of cards in each pile, right? Now, that isn't, you think, oh, maybe that tips off the method. It actually doesn't, because you're going to completely obliterate that in a second by getting rid of cards and all of this stuff. And the way that it's presented, you can get around that. But basically what's happened now is we've got 3 piles of cards. The card on the left has, or the pile on the left has 18 cards, and these 2 piles have 17 cards. Okay. Now, a more observant spectator might realize that. So you say, I'm going to make this even more random. We're going to get rid of some cards. Okay, so you say, I'd like you to take an unknown number of cards like this. They can cut wherever they want, like so, and you put these in the card box. And you say, we're going to take these out of the game completely. So now there's an unknown number of cards in this pile, and actually, totally, there's an unknown number of cards. And that is a little convincer, and we're going to take that one stage further in the next step of the routine, which involves having 2 cards picked and controlling them with the free cut principle. Alright guys, so we'll get into the free cut principle. What you're going to ask them to do now is take the center packet, to shuffle it, and then they can cut this packet wherever they want and remember the card they cut to. So they cut here, they remember this card, in this case 7 of diamonds, right? And you ask them, then you remind them this is an unknown number of cards. That's really difficult to say. There's an unknown number of cards here, so if you drop these on top, now that 7's completely lost. Okay, and that's a really convincing display. Now you say you're going to get a second card selected, so you ask them to take this packet over here, you ask them to shuffle it up, you ask them to cut wherever they want. This is going to be their second selection, so they can cut. Remember the card, in this case Queen of Clubs, right? And again you say unknown number of cards here, unknown number of cards here. These are dropped on top, okay? So, and then you can show these 2 packets and say, so your cards are lost convincingly in the deck, and it's a really, really convincing illusion that the cards are hopelessly lost, and then the cards are gathered up like this. Now, believe it or not, because of the free cut principle, which is one of my favorite principles in Magic, the selections are now, the first one is 16 and the second one is 32nd from the top of the deck. It's brilliant. You can count them just to check that you're in the right place, or you can just take my word for it. But either way, we're going to get into the next section, which is how to reposition the selections so they're going to be where we need them to be. Quick one guys, if you like self-working card tricks like this, I've put together a collection of the best self-working card tricks I've ever found that I don't teach on YouTube. They're too good for YouTube. So put them all together in one collection, and I've put that collection in the pinned comment down below. So if you like this, you're gonna absolutely love that. Check it out, and right now it's at its lowest ever price. Right, let's get back to this one. All right, so guys, we need to slightly reposition that second selection so it's not in the 32nd position, it's in the 33rd. Now this sounds complicated and like algebra and all that stuff. You don't need an abacus, it's very, very easy to do. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up the deck like so, and you're gonna simply run 2 cards into your hand. So 1, 2, and you drop these on top. It's like a little shuffle, yeah? Treat it like a little shuffle. And then you put the cards down. You're going to cut about 1/3 of the deck, roughly 1/3, just look at the edge like so, cut about 1/3, right, doesn't have to be exact, roughly 1/3. Cut these into your left hand, like that. Then take the top card here, put it underneath these, and put this half underneath the cards in your left hand, right? Done, that's it. So you've now just positioned the second selection to go from the 32nd to the 33rd position. Now what I love to do here is to throw in a cheeky false cut. Now this is completely optional, but it does add to the routine, and it'll take you about 30 seconds to learn it. So we're going to get into that right now. All right, so this is a lovely little false cut. Again, this is optional, but I think this is a fun thing to learn if you want to get into it. It's very, very simple to do. All you're going to do is you're going to hold the deck between your second finger and your thumb like that, so your first finger's free. You're going to need your first finger. So your first finger is simply going to lift up 1/3 of the deck, top third of the deck, like that. Then it's going to swing it over like so, and you're going to with your left thumb crotch, you're going to take that group of cards into that hand, like that. Now, again, your first finger is going to again lift up half of those cards, like so. It's going to swing it over. And again, you're going to put it onto these cards, but you're going to keep a break. Now, this doesn't have to be a super secret break. Yeah, you're just keeping the cards separate. So as you put this top section here on top of those, you're going to keep your little finger in between. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big secret break. It's fine. It's not even going to be noticed. Yeah. Now we've got 2 packets here. Now these go down. You're going to cut the cards above your break here, and these go on top. All right. So I'm going really quickly here because this isn't really where I teach sleight of hand on YouTube. I teach that in my Vault membership, but I just wanted to give you a cheeky little false cut that does add to the routine. I hope you enjoy that. It's a nice little thing to learn, very useful. But now we'll get back into how we reveal the 2 selections. All right, guys, so now we've repositioned our selections and we've done our cheeky false cut. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but now is the fun bit because we get into placing the bet. So you say to the spectator, I'm gonna bet some big bucks here, right? On the outcome of this, I'm gonna bet in my favor. What we're going to do is we're going to have a game of cards and I'm going to deal the cards out between us. Actually, to save time, I'm just going to do this. Now, you can't deal the cards out. It doesn't work. Trust me, I thought it would look better like that and I tried it. It didn't work. So you have to do it this way. You're going to outjog every second card. So we start here and we outjog the second card, then 1 in, 1 out. 1 in, 1 out. 1 in, 1 out. And you just keep going like that. Yeah, so you're just outjogging every second card like this. Okay, if you keep the cards as outjogged as possible, it's going to help them when you separate them in a minute. So you just go through the whole deck, just doing that, and you're going to end up with 2 groups like that. When you end up with the 2 groups, you're simply going to take them apart, and they're actually relative to where they should be. So that should be the spectators, and that should be yours. Okay. Now you're going to explain. You're going to give yourself house odds. You always pick up the spectators half. So pick up the spectators half like this, and then do the same procedure again. We're going to outjog every second card. Yeah. So I'm going to do this again. Now don't get ahead of me here because you want to make sure you're doing it correctly. Yeah. You end up with 2 halves like this. Again, you're going to split them and put them relative to where they are. So like so. Again, you're going to pick up the spectators half, outjog every second card, and you explain here. It's just like every time you do it, you're almost giving yourself a bigger advantage, right? And that's where the joke comes, all right? You're constantly like putting it in your favor and you act like you're unsure. And eventually you'll do it 4 times. And you end up with 2 cards in front of the spectator. And of course here you can say, would you be impressed that your cards are here? They'd say it's more impressive here. You move over your money. You say, I always bet on the strongest outcome. You turn over these. 2 selections, it's absolutely brilliant. So guys, if you enjoy self-working card tricks, don't forget I've got a collection of some of the best self-working card tricks I ever teach. They're not on YouTube, but they are in a collection in the pinned comment. Check them out. And if you want to move beyond self-working card tricks and you want to learn sleight of hand, then check out my Vault membership that teaches you sleight of hand techniques and tricks every single month. I've also put that in the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you soon in the next video.